Hey everyone, I'm Sison, and today we're taking a look at the Sony DSC-RX100M4. Ever since Sony started with the RX series cameras, Sony have been at the top of their game with large sensor compact cameras. And with the RX100M4, it definitely continues that tradition with their latest model. But does this new camera have what it takes to keep up its momentum in the shrinking compact camera space? And is it a good enough upgrade for previous RX100 users? Keep watching to find out. The RX100M4 retains the same design as previous RX100 cameras, which is perfect, because if you're upgrading from previous models, you'd still be able to use the same accessories, such as the leather case. On the front of the camera, you still have a Carl Zeiss 24-70mm f1.8 to 2.8 lens with a restyled lens ring. On the other side, you have an NFC badge and a switch for the viewfinder. On the other side, you have two ports. The one on the top is the micro USB port, and the one on the bottom is a micro HDMI. On the back of the camera, there is a tilt and flip 3-inch LCD high resolution screen and a simple button layout. On the bottom of the camera, there is a tripod mount, a little door which houses an X-type battery which is rated for about 280 shots, and an SD card slot. And finally, on the top there is a mode dial, shutter button which is shared with a rocker switch, built-in flash, and the electronic viewfinder. Now the camera weighs approximately 298 grams, and that's with the battery and the memory card included. And while it may be a bit heavy when compared to other compact cameras on the market, when you consider the quality of images that you're actually getting out of the camera, it's actually a good trade-off. Going through the camera's menu is pretty much the same as Sony's other cameras, and like I say with all my camera video reviews, it's always best to explore through the menus just so you get more acquainted with it. You could customize a few buttons for different settings, and there is also a quick function button where you can change settings on the fly. The viewfinder has been improved for better clarity and resolution, so it's very easy to look through. And you remember how the camera annoyingly shut down after you tucked away the viewfinder on the RX100M3? Sony has now fixed that, giving you the option to either turn off the camera or leave the camera on when you tucked away the viewfinder. The camera now features a stacked 1-inch sensor, but what does that mean? Without getting too technical and confusing, this means that the camera processes information quickly and efficiently, making it a much more capable camera. With this, you're now able to shoot at a super fast 16 frames per second at full resolution, be able to capture slow motion video up to 1000 frames per second, and shoot 4K video, amongst other benefits. The camera is super quick to focus, and I'm very impressed with how accurate it is, especially when using eye autofocus. Startup time has improved slightly from the previous model, taking less than a second to power up and take a photo. One of the big features is of course the camera's slow motion capabilities, and I have to say it's a fun feature to have. I particularly like shooting in 250 frames per second in quality priority, because it gives me the best quality, but you can also shoot at 500 frames or even 1000 frames per second, but the quality is heavily reduced. It's also important to note that you'll need a high-speed SD-XC card. I myself use the SanDisk Extreme Pro 64GB SD-XC card, and you'll also need this when shooting in XAVCS and 4K video. There are so many features in this camera, from Play Memory's camera apps, dual recording, picture effects, sweep panorama, HDR, and an ever-growing list of features built in this camera. But one of my favorites is still using the Wi-Fi function to transfer my images to my phone and uploading it on either Facebook or Instagram. The main reason why people buy the RX100 series cameras is because of the high quality images that you get out of it, which is still small enough to carry around with you. With the RX100M4, you still get the same 24-70mm f1.8 to 2.8 lens that was found in the previous model. While I didn't see much improvement in image quality, it still remains impressive for what you get. The camera is capable of capturing sharp and detailed images, but there is still a bit of distortion at the wide end of the lens. In terms of low light performance, it's one of the best compact cameras to tackle high ISOs. I was comfortable shooting up to ISO 6400, but if I really wanted to get some very clean high ISO images, I could also use multi-frame noise reduction, where the camera takes several photos and stitches them together to make a noise-free image, although it's only useful for stationary subjects. The camera can now shoot in 4K video, and while it's a big feature to have, the camera will overheat if you're shooting continuously for more than 5 minutes. If you want to shoot longer in 4K, the Sony RX10 Mark II can shoot up to 29 minutes, but that's a whole different camera. Okay, so I'm currently using the Sony RX100 Mark IV in the XAVCS HD codec at 25p at 50 megabits per second. I'm also using the built-in microphones as well as the intelligent active stabilization. So this is not only going to give you an idea of the video quality, but also the audio and the stabilization in the camera. So at the moment, I'm going to take a little walk around just to show you how effective it is. And at the moment, it's pretty dim outside, and the camera is keeping up with the low light environment at the moment. So if you're going to be using this in the daytime or even when it's a bit darker, I reckon this camera is going to be doing an amazing job. The camera can shoot in a variety of frame rates and codecs, which are MP4, AVC HD, and XAVCS. There is no mic input, so if you want to attach an external microphone, you won't be able to do that with this camera. But the built-in microphone does a decent job if you're vlogging or just want to take some casual videos. The Sony RX100 Mark IV brings in new features that a lot of people will appreciate. And with Sony's new sensor technology, it's the most advanced and fastest camera in its range, while still maintaining its compact form factor. Having 4K, super slow motion, a machine gun burst rate, among other things, it definitely makes this a good upgrade for the RX100 series cameras. Although, if you already have the RX100 Mark III, I honestly don't see a need to upgrade to this model unless you really need the super slow motion and 4K video recording. But on the topic of 4K, you only do have about a 5-minute limit before the camera overheats. Now, I would recommend this camera if you want Sony's latest and greatest tech, but if you want to save a bit of cash, the RX100 Mark III is at a cheaper price point. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And if you already own one, let me know what you think of it. And remember to support this channel by liking this video and subscribing to my channel for more Sony camera reviews and tutorials. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more photo updates and sample photos. Until then, happy shooting and thanks for watching.